Good morning, wrestling fans. Today is Wednesday, February 8th, 2023. I am your host, Lance Brock. Thank you for listening to GMWF today on Spreaker or wherever else you may listen to the show. And on today's episode, last night was a new episode of WWE NXT on USA and the debut episode of MLW Underground on Reels. I was not able to watch the show yet. I do not have Reels. Maybe there will be other options online or something to watch the show, but I know on Sling I looked and I cannot find Reels or Friendly TV either. I know Friendly doesn't have really a huge lineup of channels, but it is not on there either. So maybe there'll be another way to watch the show. But if you don't want to hear spoilers, you can tune out now, just in case you haven't seen the episode yet either. But first, let's get into NXT live on USA last night. You see Zoe Stark defeat Sol Ruka. The former Commander Aziz. Deba Kato defeat Dante Chen. Isla Dawn defeat Tatum Paxley. Carmelo Hayes defeated J.D. McDonough. Lyra Valkyrie defeated Valentina Flores. Channing Lorenzo defeated Odyssey Jones. Pretty Deadly defeated Chase U. And in the final segment of NXT last night, which featured, I believe, the first time ever on NXT, Ding Dong Hello, hosted by Bayley, with her arm in a sling, selling the effects from the cage match with Becky Lynch on Raw last Monday night. And this is the end of Toxic Attraction, as Gigi Dolan gets turned on. And that is it for Toxic Attraction. First, they lose their leader, Mandy Rose. And now this split. So I'm guessing Gigi Dolan, the former Priscilla Kelly on the Indies, is going to be the babyface in this feud. Definitely interesting to see what will happen next. Now the turn I thought was okay, but I really wouldn't say that this was quite the same as the Mega Powers implode Hulk Hogan, Macho Man Randy Savage, and Hulk Hogan splitting up. But I think this could be A pretty good few though anyway. The JC Jane turning on Gigi Dolan, working heel in this feud, or at least that's what it looks like anyway. And now at this time, let's move over to the first episode of MLW Underground that debuted on Reels last night. Unfortunately, I haven't been talking as much MLW Major League Wrestling as much as I should on the podcast. But I hope to change that soon though. And we get a brief video package that highlights some of the biggest moments in MLW history. And we have Matt Striker in the ring to open the show. And he introduces Jacob Fatu. And he asks him about his plans with his battle riot for victory and his title shot. And he says he's going to cash it in at MLW Super Fight in Philadelphia, which has been taped already. I normally don't read spoilers or anything, as I talked about on the podcast, so I don't know what happened there yet. And he's interrupted by Real One though, the former Enzo. And our first match on MLW Underground, Mance Warner defeats Real One. Alex Kane defeats the Marvelous Jafar. The MLW World Champion Alex Hammerstone defeats EJ Naduka in a last man standing match to retain the MLW Championship. Sounds like this was a pretty good match here. Then post-match, Hammerstone celebrates with his championship, and Jacob Fatu comes out onto the stage, and they have a stare down from across the arena. And then the first episode of MLW Underground goes off the air. Like I said, though, I have not yet seen this episode of Underground. What I've read about it sounds very good. I'm going to try to see if there is another way to watch it. I don't know if MLW will be allowed to put this on their YouTube channel or what. But speaking of MLW, their other show, Fusion, will still be airing on Pro Wrestling TV. So you can either go to their website or you could get their app, or do what I do. I have it on Roku. Very good app for some independent wrestling. A lot of it is free, but there are also pay-per-views you can order, like Warrior Wrestling. And as I mentioned, MLW Fusion, new episodes, plus all the other episodes, and also the MLW Supercards are available on Pro Wrestling TV, such as their Battle Riots, Super Fights, and other big shows like that. You can go and watch them for free, some of the older ones. If you're not familiar with MLW, Major League Wrestling, the promoter, former WWE writer Court Bauer, who used to run MLW Radio with their podcast, Conan, and MSL, Mr. St. Laurent. I remember used to listen to that when that was still on. And also, Court Bauer did a show with John Pollock, which was still with Live Audio Wrestling at the time. Bauer and Pollock, which was a show I listened to. They didn't do it every week, but it was every 2 weeks. They did very good podcast. I kind of wish that would come back. I kind of missed that one. But I know Court Bauer is busy promoting MLW once again. And I haven't really heard too much about it lately, but MLW a little while back had that lawsuit with WWE when they said they were trying to get their content on the free streaming service Tubi, which is owned by Fox, I believe. And then they said WWE may have had something to do with Tubi backing out of the deal. And also Vice, they said something about that, where they had the one special that aired on Vice, but nothing more. So they said somebody in WWE may have some friends at Vice or something. But hopefully with Reels and Pro Wrestling TV, things will work out good for MLW. Will be, because we need more pro wrestling. I know people are saying there's probably too much of it on TV right now anyway, but as far as I see it, there's no such thing as too much pro wrestling. So that's all for this episode of 360. Good morning, wrestling fans. Thank you for tuning in, everyone. Hope everyone has a great Wednesday. Tonight, Dynamite on TBS. So, hope everyone enjoys AEW Dynamite. Remember, keep watching pro wrestling.